All right.
My particular approach to playing lead guitar is about melody.
Yeah.
And it's like not how many notes you can fit in, but how much you make a note count. So, when you worked with David, did he I mean, I'm not really sure where you are, so...
Oh, I know. I mean, where I am as the lead player, you mean?
Yeah, and, you know, just, it's like, you know, like the pentatonic scale in terms
That's kind of what he was working with me on. Like, he was saying, like, that, you know, when you say pentatonic, you know, it's like, even then, but this is what he told me was like, if I'm playing off a C, for example, that what he suggests is that, now what was that? That's not pentatonic. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's you see, pentatonic, penta, 5, tonic tones. Okay, 5 notes.
Okay.
We're in the key of, well, let's do it in the key of C. Let's see, I got it. That's it. These are the 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it just repeats itself. See, that's...
Okay.
So in the key of C, you're starting on the 8th fret, which is the C there. That's your root, okay? That's a minor pentatonic scale.
What we just played was?
Yes. Now you can take the same scale and move it back 4 frets.
Yeah.
And you land on different notes, you accent different notes, and then it becomes a major scale. Sorry.
So you said, when you said that you went down to...
Yeah, go back 4 frets. So you're going to go to A.
Yeah.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Start on the G.
Oh, start.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that?
Well, because that's just how it works. That's the first note of a major pentatonic scale. Is, what is that? The 4th.
We're still playing off C here?
Yeah, because yeah, let's start, okay, less confusing. Start from C.
Are you going up down, staying the same
Up
string?
the whole step, yeah. So there's your 5 notes in the key of C. So,
and so the 4th, what do you call that? That G, or is that, or does it have a name in respect to that? You said it was the 4.
well, no, just scratch that. Yeah. So.
Are you starting to understand?
Pardon me?
Are you starting to understand my handicap?
Well, it's about, like for me, learning to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Because I basically taught myself.
You did.
Yeah. That it was all about figuring out the patterns that your fingers go in.
Yeah.
And there's little boxes.
Yeah.
Okay? You know that.
Yeah.
But do you know where the boxes are?
Not really. I mean, I think that's kind of part of what the problem is.
Okay, so...
sliding in.
And then just use your fourth finger. Whoops. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Just use your fourth finger, let it fall where it does.
That's your
pinky.
Yeah.
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 And then the C resolves it.
And what is that we just played?
That's a major pentatonic scale. It's a C major pentatonic scale.
And so, is that what you would play? That's what you play over a C, over if you're soloing over a C.
Yeah, like like the song "Your Cheating Heart."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, play it for me. Can you?
Is that
in C? Your cheating heart. F. That's
major.
all, and I shifted keys so that I could make it fit, because in the major pentatonic you have to play in the chord that you're playing in. Like if you're playing an F, you need to switch to the notes.
Switching to that chord.
Yeah, but it's real easy because everything's kind of, it's like it's right next door, because you're going C and then F and you. See these two, this note, those are in the F scale and the C scale. So. And now you just go up a whole step. You just take the whole box pattern, play in G, you're in F, and then you go. And then you're going to go back to the C. So land on that C, and then you. So that's the voicing of a major pentatonic scale, and that's like your basic country music.
Right.
Okay.
So
now
let's. Now what? You said to forget about this, but when you start, like, if you start soloing, would you start on C? I mean, would you? You
can. You don't have to, but if it's easy, if it's easiest for you, it's like you need to do what makes sense for you to kind of get the feel for this. So.
Is the C the one?
C is the one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm just gonna play this pattern, so all the way from the 6th string to the 1st, and then you can kind of have it to look at.
Great. Okay.
And you can go farther, and it shifts around. But if you can get this. If you can do that, you'll have to start slowly.
Yeah.
Then that's a really good place for you to start in terms of, and knowing that it's against the C major.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So relationship-wise, then, like, is there some kind of math you can do? Like, if I say, we're playing the song in D, then, and you just started on a G over a C.
I don't think about it mathematically. I mean, it's like C. I think about where the root note is in the scale.
Yeah.
So if I'm in this position, it's the C's here. So that's kind of my anchor spot.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing a D, D's a whole step above C, so I know that
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's the same pattern, just up 2 frets, just
Cool.
up a whole step. And like, you know, it just... So... Now, if you want to... The other way to use a pentatonic scale is in the minor sense, which is in... That's the more common use of it in blues and rock and roll.
Okay.
Okay? So... Instead of playing your C... Yeah, I mean... You can play... But it's a C7. And... You know this 9th chord?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're, it's instead of this 4 chord, like the F, okay? Except it's, you put your second finger, second finger.
This, oh, sorry.
No, middle finger.
Yeah, oh, second, that's
Okay.
the second thing.
First finger,
That'd be
behind it, right there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
And then lay your third finger. And then when you go to the 5 chord, because your blues, 12 bar blues, okay? 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to play the 5 chord. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's, we'll do it again in a minute, and we'll do it more slowly, and so you can,
Yeah.
Do you understand what
Mm-hmm.
I mean when I say 12 bar blues?
I think so. I mean,
That's,
well, what are you saying?
That's 12 measures in 4/4 time, okay? And the changes always come in the same place.
Yeah.
And it's the same, it's practically every rock and roll song,
yeah,
you know,
right.
are based on them, all the
Like a 1, 4, 5 type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So the blues scale, the minor pentatonic scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or let me sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we're starting on the root of the scale, which is the C. Okay. Start with.
Oh, you're going into the 5th string.
Yeah,
right
you
away.
you can do it either way.
Yeah.
Slide. I just kind of over the years that I've played, and I've just kind of learned to. It's like instead of.
Right.
Instead of limiting myself,
Right.
it's like I try to get more notes out, so I.
Yeah.
And then you get it makes for different licks, but anyway, so.
Well, yeah, that's something that's been honestly like. Yeah, I mean that's actually something that's been new to me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm playing dumb, but like I know a lot of the stuff you're telling me, you know. But technically, it's hard to do for some of it for me. But that's actually been new to me is the idea of, you know, for some reason the idea of it seems like you kind of move that way.
Yes.
You know, and that's a little bit new to me. Like when David was doing that, I was like, oh, You know, because I tend to want to be like, you know, I'll stay right here, you know, right here.
Well, it's all about what you're comfortable
But I like
with.
that. And it feels good.
Yeah, it's that
Going
kind
out
of
like that.
diagonal movement just gives you a little bit more fingerboard to play with, and so can you do a 12-bar blues?
So.
And
I mean, this thing's going to cause me a little trouble. So,
yeah, that's it.
So.
2, 3, 4.
Like that. No, go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
No,
5.
Sorry.
4. So that's, I mean, I use some kind of different sorts of blue notes and stuff, this kind of chromatic things, but that's all minor pentatonic scale. So now play another 12 bar, and I'll play it. I'll still play the blues, but I'll play it all out of a major place, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's all the same notes and the same licks, kind of, but it's just about where you land and what you emphasize.
What players are associated? Are there players that tend towards the major and the minor? You know.
Yeah, B.B. King uses the major scale more than probably anybody I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, sound familiar like that. Yeah.
The minor pentatonic scale is really the blues thing, and that's a lot of guys will just they'll kind of drop back into the major for a measure or two, or for a note or two, just to add some color.
Okay.
But another guy that uses both to really good effect. Are you familiar with Ronnie Earl?
Ronnie Earl?
Ronnie Earl, yeah. Check him out. He's an East Coast guy. He's from Maryland, and he doesn't sing, so he always has to depend on singers. So he has lots of instrumentals on his records, and some of his records are all instrumental. But he really uses both of those scales. I mean, he's just a masterful player anyway.
Cool.
He's, in his late 50s, probably, been playing forever.
Right.
So, what else?
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean if you work with what's there, you'll have. There's a world of. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how it all works.
Right.
I think we never stop trying to refine the connection between our brain and our hands in terms of how it helps us express music. And like I've written a couple of songs in my life, and I really would like to write songs. I just have to sit down and figure out how to do it. But it's like I realize that, in a very small kind of immediate way, when I play a solo, I'm composing.
Yeah.
I'm making music that represents the way I feel about the song and the way I feel at that moment. Because sometimes, it's like I'm in a bad mood or I'm mad about something, and I'll just grind it out. And other times I feel really good and happy, and I'll just be playing along on little major scales.
Well, it's interesting because, you weren't playing guitar, I don't think you were, but you were channeling something when you did that, the band thing.
Oh, gosh.
That was, have you seen yourself do that?
Yeah,
it was intense.
Thanks.
It was awesome.
It was,
like, I kind of wonder if you would have sang it differently at a different time. Because it was like you were.
Well, I was still, pretty, in a pretty big haze from my wife leaving me at that time, because she'd only been gone for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But when David asked me to do that, I really didn't want to do it.
You didn't want to do it?
No, and the reason I didn't want to do it is because Muddy Waters is my greatest musical hero, and I sing a lot of his songs, and I just sing them my own way because I can't sing them like he does. But that song is like his trademark.
Oh, yeah.
And that, it's like, I'm not going to sing that.
Right.
Not that song.
Right.
But David told me, he said that the guy that put the thing together didn't like the guy that did it up in India the first time, and he said, "Do you know somebody that could do it?" And he said, "I know one guy."
Really?
And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
But so I just kind of, I trust him. He's a very talented, and very experienced musician, and he's also a really good guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if you think I can do it, then I'm going to do it.
Right.
So it was just a matter of trying to channel Muddy Waters more than anything else, and just kind of be really respectful, not try to imitate him, but just to try to feel that feeling that he had and that he gave off when he did that tune, I guess. I don't know.
It was awesome.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun. It was kind of, it was like musical theater.
Right.
For me.
Sure,
because
absolutely.
But that was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely a highlight. One of the things I was going to ask you about is, a lot of what I've been doing lately is, it's just funny because I just have never done, I feel like it's this weird place where I kind of feel like a 16-year-old and 40-year-old at the same time because, I've been doing this for a long time, I've been fooling a lot of people for a long time, you know what I mean? But then, like, here I am sitting there watching YouTube and going, and, like, having these sort of shredders be, like, teaching dexterity lessons and stuff, but one of the things that I found interesting was thinking about the thumb, and like my thumb's moved farther and farther up over the years actually because I've been using it down here more. I never used to do that, but my buddy Lon Paul did that, but a lot of the guys, a lot of things I see on the internet are like they were saying that your finger should be as far down this way as possible, and that your thumb should ideally be lined up with your middle finger, which feels really weird to me. And I was watching your thumb, and it was kind of moving up and down quite a bit, depending on what you did.
It does, and I think, for me, I know this is true because I used to do this a lot with my hand, and I ended up getting a lot of joint problems.
Doing what? What did you do with your hand? You tried to.
You know, it was like I was this and
moving
this,
up and down a lot.
And I went to see a physical therapist, a sports medicine person, finally, and she said, and she wanted to watch me play, and she said, you need to keep your wrist in a neutral position.
Okay.
So try to keep it. You want to try to keep it relatively flat and straight. I mean, you have to do some of this,
but you want it to be good, or kind of more
and
neutral
relaxed.
most of the time. Yeah.
Does that?
Yeah.
Get at what you're. You know, those shredder guys, and this is kind of why I said something early on about being a soloist is about being musical.
Yeah.
You know, and especially where you're a songwriter, it's like you're just going to play, you know, a single note interpretation of your song or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when I was a kid, you know, I was enthralled with anybody that could play fast, and I wanted to play fast, and it's like that's what we all aspired to.
Yeah.
And then when I finally figured out that wasn't really happening, for me anyway, it's like then it's a constant battle, and still is, to slow down.
Yeah.
Play less notes.
Right.
Play less.
Focus on the melody.
And just, it's like make the feeling happen. So how, and that's one of the challenges of blues in general. You know, people think blues, what is it? It's 3 chords and 5 notes. Well, yeah, and that's the challenge, is to make it different, make it work with just 3 chords and 5 notes.
Sure. And do you pay attention? Well, I know probably a lot of it comes naturally. I mean, you know, it's subconscious at this point or whatever. But do you? You said play less. Do you? Are you thinking about places to not be playing, places to be playing, kind of leaving space? You know.
Yeah, I try to leave space and let the space kind of make the notes that I play or the chords that I play be worth more. Speak louder. You know.
Yeah.
It just depends. You know, it kind of depends on the chord, or the song, but I pretty much. I mean, I'm a pretty parsimonious fellow anyway, so it's like I pretty much am always thinking, how can I do this with the least amount of playing possible?
Yeah. And
that always works when you're playing with other people too, because it keeps things from being cluttered up.
Absolutely.
And I play, I mean, in Built for Comfort, I don't know if you've ever seen us play, but Tim O'Malley, the other guitar player, and John Ori Stiff, the bass player, are both very busy.
Okay.
So if I was a busy player too, we'd be
over the top. Yeah.
It'd be just a mashup.
Right.
So, but Paul's a real straightforward, simple drummer, and I'm a real straightforward, simple guitar player.
Cool.
So it works great.
Cool.
So what else?
Well, Manny's restroom. I can be outside if you.
There is no restroom in here, so it's just
find
your favorite tree and.
I'm gonna actually stop this and restart it because I don't know.